Today we're diving headfirst into the striker saga at Arsenal, and trust me, it's getting juicy. With the summer transfer window heating up, the Gunners have been linked to a whole host of different striking talent. Some world-class, some that makes a no-go look like R9. But in classic Forward fashion, we're going to do a tier list, going from dream down to big mistake. So let's get into it. Our first person that we're going to be looking at is Cunha, who is a 25-year-old playing for Wolves, and he's probably the most interesting profile on this list, I'd say. It's obvious why Arteta likes him. It's versatility. So he has played 15 games as an attacking midfielder. He's played 7 as second striker, 6 as a centre forward, which is real minimal and probably is going to be a big reason for where I put him in a minute. 2 as left winger and 1 as right winger. Having said that, he has had 15 goals and 6 assists in 31 Premier League appearances this season. He has 123 shot creating actions, 16 goal creating actions as well. An XG of 8, a non-pen XG as well of 8. He is a fantastic player. However, I don't think he's really the right choice for Arsenal. It's ironic. I think in a more transition-based team, he would be perfect. If he went to somewhere like Liverpool, be a wonderful signing for them. And it seems like he might actually be going to United. Whether or not that fills up their void is another matter. But I think it's unlikely at this point now. And I don't think it's really the right choice for the Gunners. Now, our next player is Liam Delap. So most people will know about him now. He's got a release clause of about £30 million, which is in effect as Ipswich went down recently. So he's 6'1" player, England under 21 international, although he is 22 years old now. And is he what we need? Let's be honest. I think most people watching this will agree that we are in a win now situation. We have come very, very close in the last 2 seasons. This season has been a bit of a drop off, mainly due to the injuries and suspensions that we've had. And it's just not for me. If you were buying him and we already had a real good established striker, I would be happy with the deal. As someone coming in, a young up-and-comer, he's definitely someone that would give us something different. But he's just not that win-now striker. The value in the buy would be amazing. For 30 million, you are getting someone that is used to the league, someone that has a lot of upside. If you look at his progressive carries, he's in the 86th percentile, and successful takens, he's 92nd percentile in the top 5 leagues. But he's a bit wanting, let's be honest. 12 goals in 35 games in the Premier League is a pretty good return, especially playing for an Ipswich side that have been dire this season. But is he what Arsenal needs? Again, not for me. I think this, again, is an unlikely signing. It doesn't fill me with much hope, and I don't really think that Arsenal will go for it. Next player. So we have got Ekitike from Frankfurt. So this is a 6'2" player, 22 years old. He is very much in the mold of like an Alexander Isak, and that will be a good link in a minute. He has been fantastic this season, I cannot lie. So in 2,400 minutes, about 32 Bundesliga games, he has got 15 goals and 7 assists. So not much more than Liam Delap, but he has played 3 games less. He has an XG of 24. 1, a non-pen XG of 18.7. In the Europa League, again, he has played 12 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. This guy has been really, really in form this season. And it's not just that. Going through statistically how well he performs amazingly in most areas for a striker, that is. So if I run through non-pen XG, 92 on the percentile, shot total, 94. So he averages 3.76 shots per 90, which is unbelievable. This is a guy that does not mind shooting. His XAG, so expected assisted goals, again, 94th percentile. He's also in the 95th percentile for progressive carries and successful take-ons. His touches in the attacking penalty area on the 94th percentile. And it's not just that. I believe he's in the top 10% for strikers in the top 5 leagues for interceptions, which shows that he's able to read the game from a defensive standpoint as well. He is the perfect replacement for Newcastle if Isak left. And yet, I still don't think he's the right player for us. He's very, very good at what he does, but holding the ball up, I'm still not convinced. He scores the same type of goals over and over again, and I don't think he'll get that kind of space in the Premier League. He's quite lightweight for someone that is 6'2". He's not exactly a physical specimen. And the other thing is that there's a Frankfurt curse that comes round, and unfortunately, that's something that is kind of unquantifiable. But for me, it's not a bad signing. And maybe it's the type of signing that we should have done 2 years ago. So we could have got him in and then he blossoms into this fantastic player. But again, we're at a win now situation. And for me, it would be a bit of a meh signing. All right, next player, we have got Gyokeres. So, I think everyone who is watching this knows about him right now. Andrea Berta is a huge fan, and it's really interesting that since he's come into the club, this whole furor and this news has come out about Victor. He wasn't the player at the top of my list, but he's slowly but surely going higher and higher. I don't know if it's the compilations that are going out on YouTube. I don't know if it's the hype from other YouTube channels. But it's just something about him. I mean, just statistic-wise, let's go through the amount of goals he's scored. So this year alone, right now, 32 games, 38 goals, and 7 assists in the Portuguese league. Yes, there's a caveat. It is the Portuguese league. However, to have over a goal a game shows an undeniable talent at goal scoring. Again, in the Champions League, which is the kind of upper echelon of football, the elite standard, 8 games, 6 goals, 1 assist. He is fantastic. Is he the right fit for Arsenal? Probably not. Will he be afforded the same amount of space in transition playing for Arsenal? Again, probably not. But he's just a force of nature. And more as time goes on, I look at him and I think, maybe it's what Arsenal need. Maybe it's what Arteta needs as well, to give him a push to go away from this possession-based style and kind of give up possession every once in a while to the opposition and allow them to come onto us so we can have room to break. He is undeniably a fantastic striker at what he does. So I'll just go through some of the stats. 99th percentile. Okay, so the top percent of all strikers in, albeit outside of the top 5 leagues. So non-pen XG, non-pen goals, non-pen XG and XAG, shot creating actions, touches, progressive passes received. is unbelievable. But if you break it down, if you're looking away from those kind of lower leagues, I hate saying that, but it's a lower league. He is averaging over 4 shots per game. He's averaging 4.91 shot creating actions per game. So he's very adept at making these chances for himself. He's very happy at taking chances, which is something that Arsenal lack. We really lack. He is a fantastic striker of the ball. And again, that's something that Arsenal lack. He kind of reminds me of a battering ram type player in terms of when he does pick up the ball and tries to progress and carry, it quite often kind of bounces off people rather than beats them with trickery or anything like that. But maybe it's just an aesthetic bias that makes us think, he's not that type of player that Arsenal should go for. For me, I really like it. I like the deal. I think for the price that's being kind of talked about, it's very good business. And you just can't go wrong with a player that has scored that many goals. And maybe it's time that Arsenal roll the dice on a player like this. The next player is another really versatile one. He's not an out-and-out 9, and it is Kang In Lee. So a big surprise when this rumour came about. He came from Yorker, I believe, before he went to PSG, and he's found himself kind of deputising out on the left or out on the right. Really, he is better in central areas, usually playing as a midfielder. But let's quickly go through all the different positions he's played, because it's absolutely insane the positions he's played this season. So he has played 13 games as a right winger, 12 as an attacking midfielder, which is more his real position, 6 as a centre forward, which he played against us in the early rounds or early stages of the Champions League, as it is now. He's played 1 as a left winger, 1 left midfield, 1 central midfield, and even 1 at right back. So he is almost like an archetypal Arteta player, able to play right across the front line, even in the middle of the park. He's, for that reason, not what Arsenal fans clamour for. He is not going to take us to the next level in goal scoring. He is not going to hold up the ball in the manner that we want, albeit he does have fantastic free kick and dead ball ability, which is something that we lack with directness. I don't know. There's not much upside in this deal. What I will say is that if you look statistically at him, he is in the 99th percentile, so the top 1% of players in the top 5 leagues for his pass attempts and his pass completion. He's also completing 7.58 progressive passes per 90, which is unbelievable. So he is a very forward-thinking player. He is a very good passer of the ball. Is he our number 9? No. Should we be getting him? No. And I think at this stage, if Arsenal went out and bought him to supplement our kind of deficiencies in the number 9 area, I think it would be a big mistake. So unfortunately for Kang In Lee, he goes in at the bottom. So this is another big surprise. So this is Luca from Udinese. In case you don't know him, he is a 6'7", 24-year-old. He went on loan to Udinese for a year. He then got a transfer at the beginning of the last year. So he's been there in a total of 2 years, 1 as an actual Udinese player. And he's a bit of an enigma. So 32 games, 11 goals, 1 assist, which is a relatively good return. He has an XG of 7.4, but I'm just not too sure, again, it's the right time for a player like that. He is definitely a player that will improve over the years. I think he's someone that works really well in Udinese's system. But again, I think this is a big mistake going for a player like this. It would be a huge gamble and not one that I see paying off. So, unfortunately, not for me. Next one, we are on our last three. So these are really interesting players here. Although we're missing one player, and I will come on to him. So this one is Benjamin Sesko. Oh, where do I start? I mean, his transfer fee has been rising and rising and rising, and it was month to month. It then turned to week. It's now almost daily that RB Leipzig are adding on to that transfer fee. It was reported that Arsenal had agreed a transfer fee of around 50 million from reports. The deal didn't get done. It looked like they had an agreement where if he stayed for another year, he'd be let go for quite cheap. That seems to have gone right out the window. He is a fantastic prospect. I will say that. He is a player that I really do like. He gives us a lot of things that we lack in this Arsenal team. So he gives us height at 6'4". He gives us some kind of youthful exuberance because he is only 21 years old. He has elite ball striking. There's a great phrase for those of you from the Callum podcast, The Different Knock. You'll know what I'm talking about. But the fee just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And as much as I think he is going to be a world-class striker, the fee that's been mooted is far too high. And it's when you start delving into the statistics as well, and I know sometimes we need to look at the eye test. He has scored 13 goals and had 5 assists in the Bundesliga. So that's 13 goals, 5 assists in 32 games. In the Champions League, 8 games, 4 goals, which is, a good return. I'm actually more impressed with his Champions League performance in terms of goals than I am in the Bundesliga. But when you start delving into kind of his shooting stats, it leaves a lot to be wanted. So in terms of goals, 76th percentile. Shots total, 61st percentile. Shots on target, 72nd percentile. His percentage per 90 for his shots on target is 45.9%. So this is not someone that is constantly on target, okay? Over half of his shots are off target. He is prone to missing a one-on-one chance. But could he be one of the top 5 strikers in the next 5 years? Quite possibly. Is it one of those things where it's a market opportunity and we cannot miss it? Again, quite possibly. For me, I like it, but the fee is just putting me off at this point now. And is he a win now striker? Again, I have him below Gyokeres simply because his goal tally is just nowhere near comparable. So I like it, but there's definite caveats there. Okay, our next one, we have got Dusan Vlahovic. Okay, so 6'3", plays at Juventus. We know all about that. He was meant to come to the club, kind of pilot off, really, and it's not been a fairy tale story for him at Juventus. Juventus are more than happy to let him go now. And you can kind of see why if you look at his goal record. So this season, he has only scored 9 goals, albeit he has only played 27 games. So he has missed quite a few. But he's just not kind of hit the ground running. Champions League, ironically, he matches Sesko's goal record. So he has 4 goals this Champions League campaign in 9 games. And again, his assists are pretty low. So 4 in Serie A, 1 in the Champions League. One thing I will say for him is that if there are dead ball situations, he loves to have a go at those. And that's something that we are definitely missing in our squad. Martin Odegaard doesn't leave anyone with any hope when he steps up, let's be honest. He likes taking a shot, and he is a useful player in terms of holding the ball up. Is he a win now striker? No. Is he an upgrade on Kai Havertz? It's debatable at this point. I'd say it's more or less neck and neck. I mean, would he come in and usurp Havertz? Possibly. Is he going to eclipse him? No. And in that case, for me, it's a big mistake. I think funds could be allocated elsewhere much better. Now, I am going to say it's my final one. It's not really. We have got Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins is a player that we were linked to in January, and there was rumours that Arsenal were offered the player. Arsenal then said, we will give you 40 million for it. Aston Villa rejected. We know John Duran ended up moving elsewhere, which put more pressure on Villa to keep the player. But Ollie Watkins is a player that has been in his prime now. So he is 29 years old. He has got Premier League experience and has scored a good amount of goals in the Premier League. He is also an Arsenal fan, which may sway your decision on this. I like the idea that we would have a player that actually understands the club and has grown up knowing what the club's history is and how important certain competitions like the FA Cup are to Arsenal. I just think this ship has sailed. I really do. He is a fantastic finisher in wide spaces. Again, that's something that we don't really have. He's great in transition, something we don't really do. His assists are the thing that stand out for him. So 8 assists in the Premier League, 4 assists in the Champions League. So he is in the 97th percentile for assists out of all forwards in the top 5 leagues. So that's something that a lot of these other players don't really have. Having said that, he is 29 years old. And some will argue, well, if we're winning now, then it won't matter. However, if he takes time to adjust, that is time that we don't have, because it'll be running down and he's only going to get older. He is a good striker. Is he an elite striker? No. So for me, this is more of a meh signing. If we got him, I would understand. But in the grand scheme of having a new sporting director, having all of this kind of narrative about Arsenal spending a lot of money, and knowing that we are constantly just under what we need to be, I just don't know if Ollie Watkins is the player that takes us over that precipice and gets us into the promised land. I have my doubts, and I think it would be a good deal if you could get it around that 40 million mark. Whether or not Villa will do that now, it is beyond me. So, yeah, a meh signing. Now, I will finish up by saying this. There is a dream signing, and obviously that is Alexander Isak, but that would also be in the unlikely stage. I think for Arsenal to do that, let's be honest, it's going to take a lot of finance. It's also going to take the player wanting to leave the club, and with them going to the Champions League, I don't think that's going to happen. There are obviously the good points that he has played with a lot of the Real Sociedad players that we now hold, and with Zubimendi coming in, that's another Real Sociedad link. He was a roommate with Martin Odegaard. He was a huge fan of Thierry Henry. We have got the pull of the capital city. But would it be a wise move, considering we need a number 2? We need to spend money on Zubimendi to get him in through the door. We probably need a left winger, another attacking player of sorts, whether that's a 10 or another winger. We also will need quite possibly a left back and a centre back. And I know it sounds like I'm asking for a lot, but looking at the current squad, I just don't think that we could get him. So he is the dream signing. It's not going to happen, let's be honest. Finally, I'd like to say thank you for all the support and for watching this video. If you did like the video, please drop a like below. And if you want to see more of me, hit the subscribe button. Forward and Football out.